Ciao friends and welcome to Simple Italian Cooking. My name is Liz and I'm so glad you're here today for this really fun, easy, and refreshing appetizer that is perfect for parties, perfect for munching on snacks, and we are going to be stuffing mini sweet peppers. So you may have seen these, they come in bags like this, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting them in half and stuffing them with a ricotta cheese mixture that's going to be just full of flavor and lots of different options for you to do. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this easy recipe. And by the way, if you like Italian recipes, make sure to subscribe to our channel because that's what we're all about, easy Italian. And check out the links in the description where you can get more recipes delivered to your inbox and some free mini cookbooks as well. So let's go ahead and get started. And what we're going to do is we're going to first make our cheese mixture. Now, we are going to be serving these raw, and so there's no need to do any preheating of the oven or anything like that. And I'm using some whole milk ricotta cheese. Whole milk is going to have the creamiest texture and more flavor. So you want to make sure to look for a good brand that has that. Now, per pepper, you're going to need about 1 tablespoon, depending on the size of the pepper, about a tablespoon of the ricotta cheese mixture. So just keep that in mind when trying to figure out how many you're doing, because I'm just doing a small little batch here of about 6 or 7, but you might be doing 20 or 30 depending on what you're doing, or maybe you're just doing 1. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this for later because I need that spoon. And I'm just going to take some of this ricotta and I'm going to put it in here. And then you're going to put in a little bit, just a sprinkling of, so maybe a tablespoon or 2 of some Romano cheese. I'm using grated. And Romano just has more flavor, more robust flavor than Parmesan. So I would recommend doing the Romano. A little goes a long way. So I would just go ahead and add a little bit in. Now here's something that might be a surprise to you. I'm going to add in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and maybe about a teaspoon or so, maybe a tablespoon. And I'm also going to add in, and this is optional, some basil leaves, some fresh basil leaves. And if you don't have basil, you don't have to use it. You can try using a little bit of dried basil if you want, but I really recommend the fresh basil because that's really where you're going to get that nice, fresh, vibrant taste and flavor. And again, you don't have to even use this in this recipe, but I'm going to because I just want some of that springy, refreshing type of flavor in there. And I'm not going crazy with it. I'm just cutting it real fine so it'll spread nicely throughout. I don't want it overpowering. That's one thing that I'm not looking for. I'm not looking for this particular recipe to be, you know, mini sweet peppers stuffed with basil and cheese. You know, I'm not looking for that. I just want to give it a little bit more depth. And I think that this goes a long way. Now, next, I'm going to add a dash of garlic powder. Now, if you are opposed to using garlic powder, you can take just a regular clove of garlic and you can mince it using a mincer, okay, or a garlic press. And I would do very little bit of this. I would do about a half a clove of garlic. So you can do that. I'm not going to. I'm going to do the garlic powder. And for the garlic powder, I'm using a little bit more than 1/8 of a spoon, a little bit less than 1/4 of a teaspoon, 1/8 teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon, a little bit in the middle, so a little less than 1/4 of a teaspoon. And you can adjust if you don't even want the garlic. You don't have to. You can always just mix a little bit on the side and see if you like it. Now I'm going to give it a good stir. I want to make sure that olive oil gets throughout there. And make sure to hang with me all the way till the end because I'm going to talk about some substitutions you can do as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to taste it and see if that's the flavor that I want. Yes, I like that. Tastes good. So now what we're going to do when we cut the sweet peppers is we're just going to simply, obviously, wash them first. And then just slice them right down the middle. Don't worry about these little things on the end. If you want to take them off, you can. I like to leave them on just to make sure that it provides that little wall there so nothing spills out. And then what I do is I just scoop out the seeds that are on the inside and throw those away. I also recommend, if you see a lot of like white flesh on the inside, I would also just kind of maybe use your knife to go ahead and remove that. So you can see there are a lot of seeds in this one. So I want to go ahead and just get that out of there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these. Okay, so that didn't take long at all. And now what you want to do is just get yourself the serving tray that you're going to use. And if you are not ready to actually serve them, just put them in maybe like a just a container or with an airtight lid, or you could put them in like a baking dish and cover it and put it in the fridge. You want to keep them refrigerated until they are ready to use. So just using a regular spoon, or if you have like a little espresso spoon, that might be a little better. And you just want to fill each of the little miniature sweet peppers. And get the, don't worry, it's not going to be totally neat. And just do the best you can to squeeze them in there. Get that, push it in there, and then you can kind of scoop off the top here. So get that in. If you want to pile it up a little bit. And you can always wipe the sides down a little bit later. And just continue filling each of the peppers. And since these are finger foods, I'm going to go ahead and I'm using just a damp paper towel to just wipe any cheese that I may have gotten on the sides. I'm not known for being the neatest person in the kitchen and when cooking, so I just want to be considerate of our guests so that when they pick one up, they're not getting a handful of cheese on their hands. And if you have guests that may not appreciate you handling their food this way, then wear a pair of gloves. So that some food grade blue gloves, and that's probably what I should have done anyway because it'll just be cleaner. But yeah, these are looking delicious. Okay, so here we have it. Stuffed mini peppers with a ricotta cheese filling. Absolutely delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bite here. But I do want to say there are so many variations that you can do to this dish that it's almost endless. You can add different types of herbs. You can add different types of cheeses. If you don't want to use ricotta, you just need to stick with a soft cheese. So something like brie, gorgonzola. You could even do goat cheese. You can even top it with some mozzarella. I mean, there are just so many different ways that you can make these. If you're not a fan of basil, try some parsley and oregano. Omit more of the cheese, the Romano, add some more Romano. Just so many different options that you can do. I'd love to hear about some of your creative ideas in the comments below. Make sure to let me know. So let's go ahead. And I have another tip for you too that you can do, which will probably make itself into another video. That's a great appetizer. I really like it. And I like the freshness of the pepper. It's kind of like springy. I like the fact that they're raw. Okay. Really, really good. You can also serve these with fork and knife. With a fork and knife, if you're sitting at a table or just trying to make it easier for people, they don't want to eat with their fingers, that's totally fine. My husband tends to be that way. So there are going to be all types of people out there when you're entertaining and hosting. So giving them that option, I think, is a really good idea because this can get a little messy. But yeah, these are absolutely delicious. So another thing that you can do with it is you can actually bake it in the oven at about 350 for about 20 minutes. And you just want to make sure they don't brown too much. That's another great way. You could put some mozzarella on top, let that melt, get that cheese hardened a little bit. I mean, there's just so many wonderful, delicious ideas. But I really hope that you like this version that I've done for you today. So Italian stuffed mini peppers with ricotta. So ricotta cheese mixture. Well, I hope you appreciated the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, get some free cookbooks down below, and thanks so much for watching. Grazie e ciao.